Hi, Sustainable Parents. Flora here, and I want to talk to you about this concept of reset a little bit deeper. So, when we think of this new orientation that we're going to suggest to our kids, we're going to take some space to reset when they're not being their wise, wonderful selves. Reset is a verb, not a noun. What do I mean? A noun would be just replacing timeout with the word reset. And I know parents are caught in this old thinking when I hear them say things like, well, I tried to put him in reset. Or I said, do we need to put you in reset? Or you're not ready yet to come out of reset. Or, um, anything like that. If you're using that language, then you're still stuck in the mentality that reset is a noun like timeout versus being a verb. Reset is a verb, meaning, boy, I notice that you're at a certain level of frustration or dysregulation. The flip lid concept, maybe you're a little half flipped or fully flipped. And that shows me you need some space and help to calm down and reset to your wise, wonderful self. The goal here is not to just put them in a reset, but to give them what they need in order to reset to their wise self. So that's why at the very top of the anger curve, you see that red explosion, and it says there are two options: a silent hug or space to calm down. That space to calm down is the process of resetting. So I also want you to think you can use lots of different language when you're helping your kid take space to reset. You don't need to always call it a reset. You can be like, boy, it seems like you need some space to calm down. Seems like you do well to have some time by yourself for a little bit. Seems like we need to pause and we'll try again in a bit. All of those can be the language that you use to help a child go to that space to calm down. And you can also offer a silent hug instead. Like, wow, you seem like you're getting very upset. Would you like a hug or some space to calm down? And if they keep escalating and screaming, they're just choosing that option. Like, okay, it seems you need some space to calm down. So I want to encourage you to not get in the trap of using reset as a noun, and instead to be using reset as a verb. Now, I want to know from you, what is really standing out to you about this message? Comment below so that I can hear your insights about this concept of reset as a noun versus a verb. And I want you to think about that we have in our material this two columns to be able to demonstrate what a reset is versus the old school idea of timeout. So I'm going to open that up right now on the screen and show it to you. So in light of thinking of reset as a verb, not a noun, reset is about calming down. That's why we can either offer a silent hug or space. Reset is about going somewhere that feels safe and comfortable. And let me say, if you're downstairs and you feel like they're going to struggle with you physically in a big altercation trying to get upstairs to their bedroom that you've chosen as their reset space, that it can be just the couch, it can be the bathroom downstairs, it can be wherever you feel like you can safely move them when they're upset. We're demonstrating the principle that, heck yes, all feelings are allowed. It's just that certain actions must be limited. So the words we might use for that are things like, you're welcome to scream with that anger, and you can go do it in your room until you're done. Or you can go to this other space, you can take a step outside. You are welcome to scream. You can do it in this space until you're done. You're welcome to be mad at me. And as soon as you're calm, then we can try again and move forward. So we're going to go take a break over here until you're done being angry about that. All feelings are allowed. Certain actions must be limited. It's future focused. When they're done with it, we are moving forward. We might, if anything, just say, are you ready to try again? And we give a big hug. I know my sister was talking about when she used to do this calming strategy with her little son, who was real prone to a lot of anger. And he would, when they were done, he'd just always welcome with a hug and say, I love you. And are we ready to try again? And when I think of parents that say, well, my kid, every time they go to reset, will just like bang on the door and scream and throw things at the door and be like trying to come out and slamming it. I wonder if they've been ending the reset with a big lecture and shame and blame. And do you realize how bad you did here? And so, of course, when you're in that space where you're supposed to calm down and you're thinking, this is just going to end with me getting more of a lecture and a bunch of blame, that there's no positivity in that process. So instead, to know that this is a space for you to calm down to your wise, wonderful self. And as soon as you're calm, you're going to be greeted with a giant hug and just move on. That I think those are the kids that I see have way less of that kind of destructive behavior during that reset space. And then finally, the reset principles are focused on the fact that we are wanting to encourage them to learn how to use this as a lifelong principle. If reset is a noun, then the kids are going to see it as a punishment. It might not be, might be something we're only putting them there constantly. But when it's a verb, many children I've seen start even at 3 or 2 to choose to go into a different space to calm down when they have this right principle that it's a verb, like we walk away to take space, to take a pause, to calm down. They might start choosing it on their own. And it doesn't have to always be just one set place. We can have varieties of like, in this particular moment, you're kind of getting snappy and yelled, shut up at me. Be like, why don't we just take a break on the chair over here? Versus if they just threw something or bit someone or hit someone, we might really want to go all the way to the room because I know they need a little more time to calm down. So reset is a verb, not a noun. And lastly, if you're having children have hard time going there, I recommend saying something like, if you can go on your own, it will be about 2 minutes. If I have to help you, I'll know you need at least 5 minutes there. And that's just meant to really have, again, the verb of resetting. If they're so resistant that you have to help them to a space to calm down, that truly shows they are gonna need more time to fully have their flipped lid come down. So those are some extra tips on reset.